Greetings. I'm Ken Horstman, Vice President and Chief Human Resource Officer for the University of Minnesota. And today, with my friends Regal, Champ, Pounce, Raptor, and Goldie, I wanted to share some updates on the Peak Initiative with you and those of you who work in or support human resources at the university. We'll talk about where we're at and where we're heading with the Peak Initiative. So where are we at this point in time? Over the spring and summer, we have been working across the functional work streams that are part of the first phase of Peak, which includes IT, procurement, finance, human resources, and marketing communications. As we are going forward with the work, we want to make good decisions, not just broad, high-level decisions that end up with unintended consequences to people or to units or to the mission of the university. Implementation will begin in the fall of 2022, and it will continue in a phased approach for several years, likely finishing in FY25. I want to take a little bit of time to talk about organization because in our earlier Peak Initiative presentations, we did pull out a very high-level organization chart for HR, as well as did the other functions. There are reasons why the org charts for the different functions look different, although they're all administrative units. When you talk about employment having one set of common practices, it does call out for certain organization changes. And one set of common practices in human resources is really important. This can cause some understandable anxiety because many of us can be happy with how our current unit or organization works today. What I have told those in these discussions who have asked is that there's no way that I want an org chart or a change to an organization to disrupt the current trusted relationships between HR leads, their chancellors, their deans, or most senior leaders in their organization. These relationships not only should continue, but must continue. Yet we still need to allow ourselves as human resource practitioners to take ownership of what falls into the human resource domain. One example out of the recent past of a change that was for the better is our I-9 compliance. It was not more than a few years ago when our compliance rate was about 40%. Which is a significant risk management challenge. Eventually, the university looked to human resources and directed us to take care of this, fix it. You don't care what you have to do. You have a charge to go fix this and raise compliance. Many of you were engaged in that project, and there was uncertainty and doubt in that project. However, through the collective effort, the university now sits at a month-over-month average compliance rate of 96%, which is far ahead of many of our peers in higher education. Human resources brings a strong value to the university, which this example demonstrates. And we can figure out how to make this happen in other areas and in other practices. We are looking at other processes that are in focus for human resources, processes like leave administration. And we are focusing on areas where we feel we can improve the service level and reduce the pain points for our faculty, staff, and student workers. Yes, we'll have to change and we'll need some tools we don't have today. Certain types of technology, better training, support, development for careers to learn new sets of skills and expertise. And we will need these things to be able to do the work successfully. So where are we heading with Peak? As I said, it's happening in stages, but we are committed to being transparent so there is no surprise when an implementation occurs. And so how does this affect you? I've said there will be change. When change affects your job, it understandably becomes personal. When we carve out a task that may be a portion of someone's job, we do have to figure out what that means for that person. Are they losing 1% of what they do during a week? Is it half of their job or something in between? And we have to do that in a respectful way so that person has a good experience during that transition. They're supported in that moment of uncertainty, and hopefully they realize new opportunities that can be interesting and engaging for them. And there will be new opportunities that come out of this. And we will have a process where employees can express interest, just like we have with the current leave management roles that have been posted. These roles are open to anyone internally, whatever phase your college or unit will be in, whether your unit is going in the final phase or the first phase. You can look at the current opportunities and see if it is something of interest. We plan to have flexibility in those transition steps, and we will follow our current policies, our civil service rules, our labor agreements, and embed those in how we manage these transitions. There will be people who may not be interested in another work opportunity that is different from what they currently do. And eventually, through the course of peak and future changes that come out of peak, that could have an impact on the job they are currently doing. As you may know, we have a lot of vacancies at the university. Between future attrition and these vacancies, we think we have flexibility to manage this change. And we do want to focus on providing the training and coaching needed to our current staff to move into these new roles. Through this process, we hope the employment impact will be very low and that people will be excited to have new opportunities. Right now, some people hear about these changes and think, well, I'll be doing a fewer things than I do today. It's got to be less interesting. Actually, I want you to pause and consider that what you might have as a different job could be a fuller, deeper experience within human resources, and you will hopefully have a clearer understanding of what everyone else's roles are too. We can help you get there. It takes mentoring, it takes training, it takes willingness to take on stretch assignments. In my career, I can say I always did better when doing than in a classroom. And I was very fortunate during most of my career when I was developing expertise and skills that I was with an employer who saw potential in its employees. And every time I would turn around, there would be something new and different to take on or to do. It wasn't always a promotion. It wasn't always even something I was thinking or planning to take on. But it was a different type of work, a different skill set, different experience. And somewhere down the road, all of these experiences came together to prepare me for something that in that moment long ago, I could not even have dreamed would occur. And those are many of life's opportunities in careers. What you do today is actually part of the interview process for what may come in the future. I'd like to see our culture move in that direction because that's part of having a satisfying and engaging career. And it's part of the way an employer can truly value everyone in the workplace. As we said today, we are starting with leave administration. The positions have been posted. We'll look at internal candidates first. Moving to offer positions internally is part of this culture change, so we can provide a career progression that is planned that we know will make the university a better workplace. The value in this is inclusive, it's equitable, and it should engage employees. Looking ahead, I am excited to see our human resource community harness the collaboration that helped us manage through the last 2.5 years of COVID-19. We had uncertainty, we had stress, we had challenges, we had things we had conflict on, different approaches. Yet we all came together in a collective period of time to work as one human resources community and succeed. And we do have an opportunity to take what we learned from that experience, as hard as it was, and use it in Peak to develop a new way to do our work. And we can do it through the lens of equity, diversity, and inclusion from the start, that it helps us bring our policies and practices into agreement. I really thank you for your time today. And I hope that if you have questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, you bring that to your local HR leader. You can contact me directly or anyone else involved in the Peak project. Thank you for your time.